maybe you thought you were supposed to break. Maybe you expected that one day everything inside you would finally collapse, that the weight would become too much, that you would fall apart in a way others could finally see. But that day never came. Not because it wasn't heavy, not because it didn't hurt, but because something in you kept going. Listen, you didn't endure loudly. You didn't endure with dramatic moments or visible strength. You endured quietly. You woke up on days you didn't feel ready for. You moved through responsibilities that felt heavier than your capacity. You showed up even when your heart felt tired. And from the outside, nothing looked broken. Listen, endurance is often misunderstood. People think endurance means you were fine, that you weren't affected, that it didn't really hurt you. But endurance usually means you learned how to carry pain without letting it spill everywhere. You learned how to function while hurting. Listen, you didn't wake up one day exhausted. It happened slowly. One pressure added here, one expectation placed there, one responsibility you didn't ask for, but accepted anyway, until surviving became normal. And you forgot what it felt like to feel light. Listen, you told yourself, I'll rest later, once this season passes. Others need me right now. So you stayed strong. Not because you felt strong, but because stopping felt dangerous. Listen, God never confused your endurance with ease. Psalm 34:18 says, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted." Not only when hearts break loudly, but when hearts hold together under quiet strain. God was close. While you were enduring, listen, some of the strongest moments of your life were moments no one noticed. Moments you chose patience instead of reacting. Moments you chose silence instead of defending yourself. Moments you trusted God without reassurance. That kind of endurance does not draw attention, but God saw it. Listen, Psalms 56:8 says, "You have kept count of my tossings. Put my tears in your bottle." Not only the tears you cried, but the tears you swallowed, the ones you didn't have time or space to feel. God counted those too. Listen, endurance leaves marks. It doesn't always break you, but it stretches you. There were moments your body kept moving, but your heart felt distant. Moments joy felt muted. Moments peace felt fragile. Moments you wondered how long you could keep this up. And still, you endured. Listen. You didn't fail spiritually because you felt tired. You didn't lose faith because your prayers felt quiet. You were not weak. You were human. Isaiah 41:10 says, "Do not fear, for I am with you. I will strengthen you and help you." God's strength does not always feel like relief. Sometimes it feels like the ability to keep going when you don't understand why. Listen. Endurance is not the same as being called to suffer endlessly. God does not ask his children to live forever in survival mode. Endurance keeps you alive, but it is not meant to be your permanent state. Listen. There comes a moment when endurance begins to turn into exhaustion, when strength becomes strain, when holding on starts costing more than it builds. And God sees that moment clearly. Listen. Psalm 147:3 says, "He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds." Binding is gentle, careful, intentional. God does not rip healing open. He restores slowly, especially when wounds came from long seasons of endurance. Listen. You may not realize it yet, but endurance shaped you. It gave you compassion for others who suffer quietly. It gave you patience you didn't ask for. It deepened your faith in ways noise never could. But now, God is inviting you to live differently. Listen. Jesus once said, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." Matthew 7:28. Rest is not a reward for surviving long enough. It is an invitation for those who are tired. Listen. You didn't break, even when you thought you would, even when you felt close, even when you wondered if you had anything left. You endured. And God honors endurance, but he also knows when it is time to let you rest. Listen. You're allowed to stop racing yourself, allowed to exhale without guilt, allowed to admit that something became too heavy along the way. Endurance was necessary then, but restoration is possible now. Listen. God is not asking you to prove your strength again. He already saw it. He's asking you to trust him enough to receive rest. Listen. You didn't break. You endured. And God was with you in every quiet moment that required more strength. than anyone ever knew. If this message spoke to your heart, like, share, and subscribe so it can reach someone who has been enduring quietly. And if you feel led, comment, I endured. May His peace find you today.